At election time, political journalism goes to another level. It's your chance to see the party leaders put their case to the nation. It's the turn of the potential deal makers and deal breakers. Tune in, watch them go for it, and see who you think you'll support.
Join Jessica Mutch McKay for the multi-party debate, live next on One.
Kia ora and welcome to the TVNZ multi-party debate, where we hear from those who could be the power brokers after October 17. There are 5 party leaders with me tonight. They have met the criteria to be part of the debate. Just like other years, we did invite Labour and National to be part of this conversation, but they declined. I also want to mention we have sign language interpreters, so if you're deaf or hard of hearing, you can see them on Freeview Channel 200. So let's get into it. What I want to start off with is 30 seconds from each leader. I want your pitch from the voters. Let's start off with you, James Shaw, the leader or co-leader of the Green Party.
As we respond to COVID-19, we can take action on climate change. We can protect nature, and we can vote Green.
All right, just on 30 seconds, you've practiced at this. Now from the Māori Party co-leader, John Tamahere.
Aotearoa whānui, kia ora tātou. Jess, te kai whakawā tēnā rā koe, mō ngā kai mahi rangatira, kei te mihi nunui kia koutou. Māori in politics.
That's a nice place to wrap it up. Good work on the 30 seconds. Winston Peters, New Zealand First Leader.
Well, for years we've defended vulnerable New Zealanders against economic and political extremes. With COVID and economic fear on everybody's mind, party vote New Zealand First.
Now ACT Leader David Seymour.
Well, good evening. The consequences of COVID have been unimaginably hard for New Zealanders, but there's also an opportunity to rebuild a country we can all be proud of. That means accountable. Now, finally, from Jamie Lee Ross from Advance New Zealand.
Good evening, New Zealand. The Parliament needs a new voice and new representation in there. Advance New Zealand will be the party that can do that. All of the people to the left right that it will.
Right.
Advance New Zealand will do that.
Good. 30 seconds there. Well done on everyone. I very appreciate keeping to time. So really interesting pictures there. And we'll wade into some more of that later in the debate. But first tonight, I want to talk about the latest One News Colmar Brunton poll that came in just an hour ago. Let's go through the results. Labour is steady on 47. National drops 1 to 32. ACT is steady on 8. The Greens are on 6, down 1. New Zealand First is on 2, a bounce from 1. The Opportunities Party get 2. The New Conservatives and Advance New Zealand both on 1. On these numbers, there would only be Labour, National, ACT and the Greens in Parliament, and Labour would need the support from the Greens to govern. The Māori Party didn't register over 1% in this poll. So let's get into these numbers, James Shaw. On these numbers, Labour needs you. Do you now think you should have done a deal in Auckland Central so you'd be able to breathe a bit more easily?
No, we want to...
Because they're worried about the future. They understand that there are people, young New Zealanders learning to walk right now, who will get a driver's licence before...
Something to agree with Mr Peters on there, I guess.
Well, look, Advance New Zealand, we're on track to win the Tūtai Tokato seat. That will mean there will be representation there in the Parliament. And so Advance...
A bit later on. But after the break, we're going to be talking about how we live with COVID-19. I've got a few curly questions coming up too, so stay with us. Welcome back. 0 cases of community transmission again today. Arguably, New Zealand has done a good job with COVID-19, not perfectly, but compared to most countries, we're doing well. But what comes next is really crucial. David Seymour, I want to put this question to you first. You've been very critical of the government's response. But aren't we doing a pretty good job with COVID-19?
Well, I've offered constructive criticism.
Rally with thousands of people in level 2. Was that responsible?
It was the right thing to do, because what these guys are not answering is what the long-term consequences of the government's decisions are. How many people have lost their businesses and will lose their businesses?
Was it responsible, though, to get a large...
Want to do?
All right.
It should be about medical freedom.
OK, well, thank you very much for all of those answers. Stay with us. Who has the best plan for the economy and who will inspire you with their ideas? That's up next. Welcome back. COVID-19 is seen by many as an opportunity to do things better. So I'm going to ask all of the parties now about a new or innovative policy or idea that their party would bring to the table to try and speed up our economic recovery. James Shaw, I'll start off with you. What's your pitch? What's your pitch to get New Zealanders excited or get voters excited?
Well, Jess, in every category of infrastructure, develop a system that farmers can use to measure all of the sources of emissions and the sinks of emissions.
A good sense of debate. I'm so sorry, Mr. Peters. We do have to go to a break. I will come back to you afterwards. Stay with us. Can we build back better? Is this an opportunity for New Zealand? That's next. Welcome back. Even before COVID-19, New Zealand had some deep-seated problems that successive governments have failed to fix. So I want to start with housing, because yet again we're seeing house prices boom and young people wondering if they'll ever be able to afford a home. Now, Mr. Peters, I want to start off with you, and I'll put this to the rest of you as well. Would you ever look to... All right, Mr. Shaw, what's your response?
Everybody here has agreed that we do need to build more housing supply. The one way to do that is to ensure that actually we build more state...
David Seaver, your swift response.
The students' parents pay tax like everyone else, so of course they should. An ex-student education account policy would let you take your share of the education funding to school of your choice,
policy,
public or private.
And now Jamie Lee Ross.
We need to support state integrated schools more, and those schools like charter schools, which do take people out of the public system. They actually save taxpayers money.
Excellent. We'll pause there. Final questions for our candidates after the break. Welcome back. This is our final section, so I want to keep things moving. So we'll have some quick answers to these questions, hopefully. The first question I want to ask, and I'll start with you, Mr. Shaw, do you think that we should have quotas for Māori and Pacific students when it comes to med school?
I do.
All right, well, we've still got a few more days of campaigning to go, but let us leave it there. Thank you to all of the parties for joining me tonight. I really appreciate your time. We're now 9 days till election day, although many of you have been getting in early to vote. I'll be back in a week for the final leaders debate between Jacinda Ardern and Judith Collins. If you're undecided, this will be a chance for you to make up your mind. Thank you for the team here in the studio and in the control room. Good night.